Whale watchers flocking to Monterey Bay right now to see humpbacks up close. The marine mammals rarely show up in that area at this time of year, but Betty Yu tells us that some humpbacks have chosen not to migrate south.
Wow. This is the new norm around Monterey Bay, a chance to see humpback whales year-round. Historically, they spend January through March in the waters near southern Mexico or Costa Rica.
It's absolutely fantastic. For us, we just love to see the humpbacks. We particularly like to see them so close in and to appear so healthy.
Co-owner of Sanctuary Cruises, Michael Sachs, says most of the estimated population of 2,000 humpbacks do make the annual migration, but a handful have stayed behind.
This started 3 years ago. So prior to 3 years ago, nobody had ever heard of any humpback whales, at least on any kind of regular basis, that stayed here throughout those winter months. They have pretty much always made their way south to the breeding grounds, whether or not they were in the breeding pool or not.
We saw our first whale sighting within a half-mile out from Moss Landing, and we're now about an hour and a half into our whale watching trip. We've seen about 12 humpback whales. Some of them are coming right up to our boat. Most of the whales we spotted are juveniles.
They need to eat, and since there is very little food on the breeding grounds, these whales are too young to care about spring break in Cabo. So they just stay here in the Monterey Bay and put on as much blubber as they can.
Just this morning, marine biologist Giancarlo Tomei captured this drone video. As to why some whales never left,
The number one reason is that there's fish here. So of course they're mainly feeding on anchovies. If there were no anchovies here, we wouldn't see this happening. And it's also possible that it's just the variability of the population, because the population is increasing.
Whatever the reason, they know how to put on a show. In Moss Landing, Betty Yu, KPIX 5.